All right, so today we have. I'm gonna try it. I'm actually gonna try it.
Good.
Himanshu.
You're close enough, but it's okay. It's all right.
Shu? Is there a shortened version of that name that I can use?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, let's go. Let's stick with the blues, man.
Okay, let's just call you Blue. So today we have Blue from IDAP.io on the line. Blue, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Can you give us a quick introduction?
Pleasure being here, Kuji. So, hi. First, I would like to just introduce myself, and I would like to thank all the lovely people who are tuning in to listen to us. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Himanshu Tiwari. I'm working for IDAP.io. We are an up-and-coming cryptocurrency derivatives exchange. So I work as the blockchain analyst for the company. We have just reached a soft cap a couple of weeks ago, so that's one good milestone that we have achieved. And essentially, if you guys understand how the financial markets work, derivatives are a very, very big, they are a very big sector in the traditional markets. And at the same time in cryptocurrency, except for BitMEX and a couple of exchanges, the traditional ones like CBOE, and a lot of people are not really dealing with cryptocurrency derivatives. So it's a very untapped sector, and that is what we are trying to, bring here. We are introducing a lot of new different trading products, and we are essentially building an entire ecosystem where cryptocurrency derivatives for not just Bitcoin or Ethereum, but a lot of top coins and tokens will be available for trading. So yeah, that is essentially the idea behind IDAP.
Now, do you guys have any innovative like technologies that are in there, or is it mostly just kind of incentives that you guys have?
No. Let me give a little bit of background as to why the project came to be. So the founder of the company and his other co-founders, these guys were essentially traders in the traditional markets for like decades. Okay, each guy has traded say for 10 to 12 years respectively before jumping onto the crypto ship. Okay, and these guys have traded on exchanges that were, essentially that infrastructure is unmatched right now in crypto markets. So once they made the switch, they realized that in terms of interface, and in terms of not just interface, but the entire infrastructure, the way, the entire treatment of the trading game goes, there are very, very big gaps. And more than anything else, they realize that there are a lot of professional traders who would like to get into the crypto game, but the interface and the infrastructure is something that is holding them back from entering. They would rather, wait for an exchange or wait for a trading platform that would cater to their specific needs as professional traders. The high and fast day traders who just trade at the click of a button. So what these guys essentially did, they took the best of the legacy trading systems. They designed the interface, keeping in mind not just the professional guys who would like to enter, but at the same time, all the casual traders who, for whom cryptocurrency trading is the first time they are trading an asset. So the idea behind our exchange is we are targeting three particular sectors. First is introduction of cryptocurrency derivatives. As I mentioned, a very untapped market. In that regard, we are bringing quite some innovative products. I will go over that a little later, because even I wasn't very apt in terms of financial knowledge, and I've just learned on the job. So I understand that not a lot of people might be knowing exactly about what I'm talking. So I'll go with that too. But in terms of technology, as you asked, first of all, the interface is something that nobody else, no live exchange right now has the interface that we are bringing. We are going for a ladder-based point and click interface. So essentially, you can just click and your order will go through, and that's that. So it's
Okay.
at the drop of a hat. You can just trade in the most volatile of crypto markets, and that is very, very essential, because at times it's amidst that insane volatility which is crypto which crypto is famous for, that suddenly for say 5 to 10 seconds trades that are worth millions of dollars open up. And professional traders,
Yeah.
these guys are not just in for the money in this, right? They're in for the thrill, they're in for the chase of trading. So they don't get that experience with the current crypto exchanges, and that is what we are trying to target by bringing our interface. Secondly, may I just go on to the second point, and then you can just ask your follow-up questions? Will that be all right? Thank you, Kuji. So secondly, the there is a lot of new blood in crypto. These guys are like young guys, guys like me. I'm just 24. So people who have not traded a day in their entire lives, these people are getting on board. And there's a very, very big gap in terms of any simulated environment or any trading or learning ground for them. So specifically for that, we are bringing a simulated trading environment where essentially you'll get the entire experience of the exchange, but it will be completely risk-free and it will run on real-time data. So you can just sit, practice and learn trading to your heart's content. And once you think you're getting pretty good at it, then, you can go and try it out for real. So that is basically, what we're trying to do new here.
Okay. So you mentioned like just kind of like one click and you buy, you sell, you get in and out, and it's just super easy. Are these market buys, or do you have to specify like how much you want to get, or is it?
Okay. So we are actually going to release the testnet, or basically the beta of the exchange, in a couple of weeks. If you guys actually go and visit our website, we have a couple of demo videos showing how the ladder-based and click-based interface works. So the idea is, if it's a very, very volatile market, right? You set everything beforehand before you start the actual trading. So you have the amount you want to trade. You are very, very sure about at what price you enter and what price you want to exit. So after setting everything else up, you basically so the bids and the offers, basically the buy rates and the sell rates for the whatever instrument, basically whatever say coin is that you want to trade, they are displayed to you like a ladder. So the middle one, it shows the market prices, and on the left you'll have the buys, and on the right you'll have the sells. So the idea is, after you've set everything else, you start clicking. Okay, with one click you buy. Okay, and then you see the markets move in the direction that you hope they do, and then you freaking sell it there and then. So it's essentially scalp trading, but at the same time, because everything is so well set already, all you have to do is leave your keyboard alone, use your mouse, keep on going through the clicks, and in that volatile market, make pretty good deals.
Okay, cool. I was looking at the website, and it's got 0 trading fee if you have 20,000 of the IDAP tokens.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like tiered version of that? Like 10,000 you get 50%, or is it just 20,000 flat?
Okay, basically it's like this. So suppose if you come and so essentially it is to incentivize the ICO contributors. Okay. The tokenomics have been designed so that people who are putting their faith in us during the ICO, while we are conducting the ICO, they are able to derive maximum utility, maximum value out of the tokens. So the idea is, if you come and buy, and you instead of outright selling the tokens once the exchange goes live, you hold on to them. You will be able to trade with 0 fee. You will be able to trade without paying any commissions whatsoever for your entire life. And we understand that maybe not everybody would like to get on board right away. So in case if you have IDAP tokens and you pay us all the fee using those tokens, you will only have to pay 50% the actual price. So there is incentives for people who don't go buy and hold those 20,000 or more tokens.
Okay.
So and plus if you go and check the commission rates, they are very, very modest compared to a lot of other exchanges that are operating in the space. So yeah, I mean, see, the idea is that this becomes the most trader-friendly exchange. That people don't have to, hop from here to there to trade different coins or to trade different types of, financial products. They just come here, they stay here. We want to create a loyal, retentive following. So that is the basic idea with the fee structure.
Now, with the utility of the tokens, is the primary incentive, like after the burns and everything else, primary incentive for holding these tokens is just for the discount, or is it similar to Binance where you get like a voting right or like any kind of system like that?
It's again, it's not directly connected to voting rights per se, but again, essentially it is tied to the business value of how much you trade. So if suppose you are a very, very heavy, serious trader who likes to trade around the clock and who engages in really large positions. So for guys like those, if they keep on holding on to the tokens, they can in the long run save on those the commissions that they pay right now. Imagine never paying commissions.
Yeah.
So that is one that is the primary incentive in terms of the token. But as we go along, so we have updated and upgraded a lot of features based on community feedback. We are very, very active on Twitter. We are all constantly in touch with our the community who's following us on Telegram. So we keep on asking for feedback. We have got some great ideas from the community. So who knows, maybe we might incorporate something else too. It's like we are a constantly evolving, dynamic startup in that sense.
Okay. And how do you guys decide on what tokens or coins get listed? And is there a fee at all?
Let me just go over this.
Okay.
So right now, if you go visit the website, there is a voting section that has been opened. So essentially, it will start out as a complete derivatives exchange for 5 coins. So obviously, we will have Bitcoin and Ethereum. Apart from that, for the other 3 positions, we are basing it simply on community-based voting. So whatever 3 other tokens, they get the maximum number of votes. We will the exchange will launch with a complete set of derivatives for those cryptocurrencies. And as we go on, we'll keep on adding more and more coins. I can't really go into the details of what will be the exact criteria. Okay, but it will be very, very community driven. We will have regular votings, plus a little bit of it will be based on market capitalization, and if it is a special kind of a project that is garnering attention very fast, maybe exceptional cases like that. But essentially, it will be something what the overall community at large wants from the exchange. That is the idea.
Okay. And now, kind of jumping into the legal side of things, KYC and SEC.
Yes.
Does the project, because this has been a hot topic this year primarily.
Yeah, sure.
Prior, no one gave a crap about SEC and what they thought. But there are with investors coming on board interested in SEC jurisdiction stuff.
Yes.
Is this an exchange that could potentially be basically under SEC scope, and if so are you guys compliant?
So let me basically we are registered in Estonia, okay, and as per Estonian law, we are following all their KYC, AML standards, and in terms of legality, we are ensuring that regulations in those suppose you take Binance for example, right? So Binance does not exactly fall under SEC jurisdiction, right? and at the same time they're also complying with whatever local laws that need to be complied with. So we will be a global project, yes, but because we are based out of Estonia, we are taking care of all the legal aspects of it. Plus, for the ICO phase, and most probably also for operations, we will be excluding USA.
Okay. All right, that makes a little bit more sense on that.
Yeah, basically.
Now,
see, we would love to have US citizens trade. It's like, the more the merrier. But first, US needs to have a firm stance on what exactly what is the legality of this thing, and then we are more than happy to comply. But it's there needs to be clarity from both sides, as simple as it gets.
Yeah, making the US government decide on something is yeah. So anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
Let's not go in that direction, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking on the underground terms, how do you guys block out the U.S. citizens? Is there can people get on doing VPN? Do you have to fill out the KYC?
KYC is a must for both ICO contribution as well as for trading on the live exchange when it will launch. For the beta that will be launching, it will be open to all because that's simulated trading. There's no worries there, so people can come try the simulated trading environment. No matter where they reside and no matter what their jurisdiction is. But yeah, in terms of both the ICO contribution plus trading on the actual exchange, both of it, very strict KYC AML procedures will be followed. So that is something that we are very, very firm about.
Okay, cool. And then just out of curiosity, do you guys have any partnerships with any other organizations? I see you're working with OneChain quite a bit.
It's not directly with OneChain. It's with the startup accelerator One Labs.
Okay.
And so the idea behind that collaboration basically stemmed from, so right now we are going to launch as a centralized exchange. I hope you understand the difference between centralized and decentralized. If you feel that audience members are not familiar, I can go over that too in a jiff.
Let's go over it anyway, just for fun.
Yeah, sure. Just for fun. So in case of a centralized exchange, so the primary example I would say would be Binance. And where it operates like a custodian of your funds. The servers, sorry, my bad if I'm cussing, but it's basically this. You choose to store your funds on the exchange itself when you have to trade. And in case of a decentralized exchange, you are the custodian of your own funds. It's your private wallet. You trade directly from your wallet. So it has the risk that if you are not very careful with your private keys, those funds could get locked out forever. But at the same time, in case of a centralized exchange, it sort of goes slightly against the idea of the whole blockchain crypto ecosystem where things need to be decentralized altogether. So that is what is the basic idea between decentralized and centralized is. Both styles of exchanges have their pros and cons, and right now if you will just go and check, it's basically centralized exchanges that are running the show. There are exchanges like Ether Delta, which it was in the news for all the wrong reasons for a bit, but that is one of the centralized exchanges. So that is essentially the difference between a centralized and a decentralized exchange.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what are the
coming back to the point that I was actually making. So essentially derivatives trading is should I talk a bit about derivatives, because again I have a feeling a lot of people might not exactly
sure. Yeah, we can run on that one,
because honestly speaking, 4 or 5 months ago even I had no clue what derivatives exactly mean. So it was all new to me, but I came to learn a lot. So anyhow, derivatives essentially are, in the traditional markets, what you can do instead of trading oil and gold and any commodity directly, you can trade contracts based on them. And the idea is that you treat the contract like it is the actual asset, but because it is a contract, it has some added advantages. And it's easier to transfer ownership from the buyer to the seller, because there's no actual goods involved. And because of derivatives being easier to trade, this way it's easier to hedge and speculate. So basically you can very easily take a long position, or that means that you can easily bet that this asset will appreciate in price over some time, and then you can gain money that way. Or you can take a short position that this is going to fall in price, and you can make profits that way too. So the idea of derivatives is that it makes this hedging and speculating easier.
So you guys,
And
you guys are going to offer the ability to short the market and also do leverage trading?
yeah, all of it will be there. So basically you can trade on a margin with derivatives. So I can go over the features that we are offering, and a lot will become clearer with that. So yeah, would you like me to do that?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, first of all, we are offering cryptocurrency derivatives, which, there's something called a futures outright. That's one type of contract. Then there are spreads and butterfly. I know the names sound a little exotic, but these are essentially, low risk trading instruments. So the idea is that, say, suppose you have Bitcoin, right? Its price is pretty volatile.
Yeah, well, leading up to this month. This month has just been, yeah.
I must say, Bitcoin is doing that whole meme. Now I am the stable coin. That is what has been happening this entire month. So anyhow, so Bitcoin relatively is a volatile asset, but if you take a futures contract, it will closely follow the volatility of Bitcoin's price, because as derivatives are, their price is derived from the asset, which is the underlying. That is why the word derivative is used for those contracts. So the price of the futures contracts is, again, it will be similar to the Bitcoin price over a period of time. But what you can do, you can take two futures contracts for different months. So basically, these contracts, they are made like month-wise. So for the month of March, there'll be a futures contract, and then there will be a different contract for the month of, say, June and July, and so forth. So what we are offering on the exchange as we launch, it will be sequential futures contracts. So month by month by month. Now, what you can do is you can take it a step further. You can take sequential contracts. So say you have June futures contracts and July futures contracts. And the way the financial markets operate, there'll be some price difference between them. There is a whole mathematical model as to what exactly it comes to, and what actually it is in the free markets. I can't really go into that right away, but the basic idea is that there'll be some price difference between the two. So what you can do, you can take the June contract and you can take the July contract, and you can create a new contract that is essentially the price difference between the two, right? And that is called a spread. So instead of trading directly the futures prices, you can trade the difference between the two, and that will be essentially less volatile than the Bitcoin price. So that is the idea behind lower risk. And if you go a step further, you can take two spread contracts, so like June July spreads, and then November December spreads, and you can take the price difference of those two, and that is called a butterfly, and that is even lower in risk than the previous contracts. So this way different so you might be a guy who has appetite for risk, who likes to live life on the edge. You can go trade futures contracts right away. You can just go long or short or whatever you feel like. But I may be somebody who does not have the same risk appetite. I will go only trade butterfly. So the profit margin might differ, but I will have lower risk. So that is the idea, that people of all grades, maybe somebody does not want to take the same risk as the other guy. that should not stop the person from participating in the crypto financial markets. Essentially, the idea is that no matter what kind of a trader you are, if you are a professional trader with decades of experience, and maybe you are just some guy who started out right away, there's something for everybody. So we are offering crypto to like crypto and crypto pairs, crypto and fiat pairs, tons of derivatives instruments. We will also be providing the services of P2P lending. There's another financial instrument that is very, very popular in the cryptocurrency markets called perpetual swaps. We'll be offering that too.
Okay.
Plus, there is another very unique feature about the exchange. So it might not be implemented right away as we launch, but over time, this is definitely going to be included. It is something called synthetic spreads. So essentially, you can take any two contracts of any two kinds, and via our engine, you will be able to create a completely new kind of contract, and you'll be able to trade that. So like nothing stopping you from just analyzing the markets and trying to get a profit from your trade. So yeah, that.
Okay. Now, how do you guys I was looking at the I guess the entire team and advisors and all that. How do you guys pick your team? How do you guys bring on new people?
Okay, so right now the team is not really rapidly expanding, but the initial team assembled, I think, sometime last year. So these guys, they all had been traders for like 10 years or so, and they had at some point in their life worked for the same company, so they had common connections. And because of their similar interests and because they knew each other in some capacity, and all of them were traders, they started talking about how the space is not offering exactly what traders like them need, and that is why they got together to create the exchange. Plus, currently the advisors and other various team members that we have on board, these guys are basically these are in some capacity connected to one or the other founders, professional older professional relationships that they might have had. So somebody got recommended through that channel, and basically the idea is that we as a team share the vision of trying to create what we are trying to create, and basically just give our 100% in making the product as good as it can possibly be. So that, yeah. Sorry. So okay, again, if you go through the white paper that we have, plus we are very active on Medium too. So the idea behind volume is that volume and liquidity is it's a chicken and egg problem, right? You won't have liquidity unless you have traders on the exchange trading, and you won't have traders trading on the exchange unless you have liquidity. So what we are initially going to do, we are tapping into third-party exchanges, and we are also teaming up with a lot of liquidity providers. So from day zero, even before the exchange launches, we will have ample liquidity to begin with. Plus, at the same time, the testnet will be a very, very good test for us too, the beta of the exchange, because we will basically be inviting any and everybody to the exchange to come test it, and if they really, really like what we have built, I'm more than sure that they will stay and continue trading on the live exchange when it launches after a bit. And plus, we've had we are pretty well connected with a lot of traders who are heavily trading cryptocurrencies, and they love the idea, they love the interface that we have built. So we haven't really gone out and given a live demo right away. but it's soon happening. But close associates and maybe somebody who was really interested, and upon special request we were able to, instead of just explaining or showing them a video of the exchange, we were able to take them through the entire process of what each and every nitty-gritty of the interface is, and they just loved it. They are so excited that they can't wait to trade on.
Sweet. Going back, you mentioned that you guys were part of the Chain Accelerator program.
Yeah.
How was that?
So
how was the accelerator program? What did they do?
So basically, right now with One Labs, I'm not at liberty to go into details about certain things, but the idea that we connect, so the idea to connect with One Labs came through the idea of basically, I talked about centralized and decentralized exchange. I think then we digressed a little from there. So the idea is right now we are a centralized exchange, but going into the future, we will opt for a hybrid model where all the settlement will happen on chain, right? But everything else will be off the chain. So essentially, you will be the custodian of your own funds. Your funds will be with you all the time. But everything else in terms of performance, the matching engine, the order book, all of that will be done off the chain. So the idea is to tap into the best of both worlds. You will have decentralization for fund settlement, but at the same time, for everything else, it will be robust institution grade infrastructure, so that you will have performance that is comparable to, say, the interfaces that connect to New York Stock Exchange or the likes.
Okay.
So we needed to explore a lot of how should I put it, protocols that will make it easy to incorporate and implement a lot of features that derivatives trading requires. Plus we are going to offer algorithmic trading on the interface. So in order to properly implement a decentralized architecture while preserving the high performance that we are trying to deliver, we needed to basically see essentially blockchains or protocols that moving forward will be able to help us incorporating this hybrid architecture. So in that respect, because OneChain is interoperable, and it is not just an interoperable blockchain, but also an entire platform for building on top of it. So we kind of collaborated with them in that respect, and that is the idea. So the founders, when they started off, they wanted it to be a decentralized exchange from the outset, but because of protocol level limitations, they had to opt for the centralized architecture. Otherwise the performance that they wanted to deliver, that wouldn't be possible, because decentralization is a great idea. Decentralized exchanges are a great idea, but the reality of the thing is that liquidity and performances, these are very real issues that have not been solved right away. There's a good work happening in the space. So we are basically we are doing our own R&D. We are keeping an eye out for other people who are building in the space, and basically the idea is to eventually shift for that hybrid structure. So that is where OneChain comes into play. And once we expressed this to OneChain, they were very psyched to engage with us, and through that the whole One Labs accelerator thing started happening.
Okay. And how do you guys update, like, I guess all your fans and stuff when like new milestones are reached, or if there's a troubleshooting issue? Are you gonna pull like Binance where it's like just look it up on Twitter?
No. So no, not at all. So if you check the white paper once again, we like one of the core problems that we have identified when it comes to the current exchanges, customer support is a very big issue. And apparently even the very big operations, like say as you mentioned in Binance, even they do what they do. I'm not going to say anything right off the cuff, but the thing is, there needs to be more sanity in the way this is managed. So in that regard, customer support will be a very big priority. First of all, we'll offer 24/7 customer support. Plus, as we will release more details about this, but right now I can tell you that it will again be a very layered solution. So it won't be just hey, contact us on Twitter and we'll see it from there, and then nothing's happening. It won't be like that. The system we will be basically opting for is, it will be based on escalation levels. So suppose it's something that can be just solved by contacting a customer support guy from our end, say simply via text or simply via a TeamViewer session where the person guides you through the entire process. Plus we'll have different guides and FAQs for say suppose for a lot of common problems that might be there. And more than anything else, because of the hierarchical escalation when it comes to how we'll approach the customer support thing, I think the customer will feel that it's not like he has or she has just submitted a request and it's just sitting there. It will be a step-by-step thing happening right away, and depending on how big a problem is, it will be the support from our side will be in proportion to that. So if it requires one of our tech guys to take you on a call and take you through everything, or maybe even have a video session to solve the problem, all of that will be provided. But again, I can't say that it will all of this will start right away, but in phases we will keep on improving the process. Plus it will be a very feedback driven thing. So yeah, that is the idea about the whole customer support.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps everything up on my end. Is there anything else that you want to share as far as the project goes? Any special updates, announcements?
I think the special update is right now just the testnet is very, very near completion. It's in final stages of internal testing, and we are going to launch it within a few weeks. And we are very psyched for that, and we just hope that everybody comes and trades on the exchange and gives us valuable feedback.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for listening. If you like our show, you want to learn more, go to edgetrading.io. And if you want to join us live next week, just jump on our Discord. You can just do a quick Google search for Edge Analysis, and you'll find us pretty darn quick. And thanks Blue. Thank you, Blue, for joining us today talking about IDAP. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send us a message at edgetrading.io, or if you're watching from YouTube, just drop it in the comments below. And Blue, is there a social media outlet that you guys prefer for people to ask questions?
You can hit us on Twitter. You can hit us on Telegram. You can email us on. I can share the link with you. You can put that in the description of the YouTube video.
Okay.
For somebody who might be listening right now, just mail all your questions to info@idap.io. And we love to talk with the community, man. We'll just get back to you there and then.
Perfect. All right. Well, everyone have a great rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy.
All right. Thank you, Kuji. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.